You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com. And now, it's time for the show that breaks down the options market from unusual activity alerts to market analysis, strategy overviews, listener questions, and much more. If it involves puts and calls, then our all-star panel will break it down. It's time to hit the Option Block with your host, Mark Longo from the Options Insider Media Group and co-hosts Uncle Mike Tosaw from St. Charles Wealth Management, Mark the Greasy Meatball Sebastian from OptionPit.com, Andrew the Rock Lobster Giovinazzi from OptionPit.com, and Henry the Flowmaster Schwartz from SIBO. The Option Block is brought to you by SIBO. SIBO's suite of S&P 500 index options, SPX and mini S&P 500 XSP options, allows traders to speculate on the direction of the market, generate income, and hedge for downside protection of their portfolio of stocks. No matter what kind of trader you are, there's plenty of useful information to take the guesswork out of creating your portfolio strategy and to help you make more educated moves in the market. Visit www.sibo.com/SPX today to learn more. The views expressed herein are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of CBOE Global Markets Incorporated or any of its subsidiaries, collectively CBOE. The information provided is for general education and information purposes only. There are important risks associated with transacting in any of the CBOE products or any of the digital assets discussed here. Before engaging in any transactions in those products or digital assets, it is important for market participants to carefully review the disclosures and disclaimers contained at www.cboe.com/US_disclaimers. These products and digital assets are complex and are suitable only for sophisticated market participants. These products involve the risk of loss, which can be substantial and, depending on the type of product, can exceed the amount of money deposited in establishing the position. Market participants should put at risk only funds they can afford to lose without affecting their lifestyle. And now, get ready to hit the Option Block.
All right, everybody. That music means we are back. Did you miss us? Yes, we are back and live in the Chi-Town studio and raring to go. My name, of course, Mark Longo from theoptionsinsider.com. A little bit of a sojourn, a little bit of a hiatus last week to cruise a variety of venues, states, and countries here in the North American region. Saw a bunch of interesting, fun things. Different nations, fun museums, fun schools, a lot of university campuses swinging by as well. That time of year, listeners. So all sorts of fun going on. But don't worry, we didn't leave you hanging last week. You had a bunch of great on-demand stuff coming your way. We never leave you holding the bag at the end of the day. In fact, a lot of our pro folks got a bunch of cool stuff early, including the Flowmaster. The Flowmaster couldn't contain himself when we heard we weren't doing a show on Thursday. So I got to cut together something for the folks. So he did. You pro folks got all that stuff early as well. The rest of you got it on Monday last week. All sorts of fun going on throughout the week. So hope you had a good time. Hope you're getting out there last few weeks here of summer. Get out there. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time before the kids go back to school and all the other madness unfolds out there as we get on into September and the market starts rocking again and everything else. Speaking of rocking, we are rocking here on the show. We were off last week, like we said, so we got to make up for lost time with some 80s trivia magic. Of course, I am joined by our two usual contestants, the uncleest of Mikes, Mr. Uncle Mike Tosaw from St. Charles Wealth Management, as well as by the rockingest of lobsters, Mr. Andrew G. from optionpit.com. I introduce them now first because they don't have time to reply. They're getting ready. They are polishing their buzzers. They are doing their last bit of cramming for 80s trivia because it's that time, listeners. Here we go. All right, time for our 80s trivia challenge. I will draw the card from the box so they can all see. I'm going deep. I'm going deep into the heart of the box so no one can accuse me of reusing the same card. I will glance to make sure. You know,
it's crushed.
Do you know what card? Early. Do you know what card I just drew randomly from the middle of the box?
What?
What strength testing world championship is held every October in Petaluma, California? It's wrist wrestling. Wrist wrestling again.
I win again.
No. We're not counting that.
Oh.
You saw me. I literally grabbed from the middle of the box.
There's some skullduggery going on around here.
How could I possibly choose that same card again? All right, there it goes. I'll just draw from the front, but my goodness. Wow.
Dude, can you get control of this game? I gave you the easiest possible, just a box.
I thought that's statistically, that's pretty impressive is all I'm going to say.
Dude, totals as...
Go buy some out-of-money calls today, Longo.
I should.
Today's your day.
I should.
The whole show, this whole thing's in protest. Like, the score isn't even updated.
We have the totals. We have the totals. You are winning by a country mile. But yes, wrist wrestling making a rare third appearance on the network.
and I will dare to say on any network program on the globe.
Yes.
3 times in one, 3 times in one.
I think you are correct. All right, Mr. Uncle Mike, as our resident loser, you get to choose which color are we going for.
Now, how come you didn't call Andrew the resident loser back when I was kicking the crap out of him for 2 years straight?
Did. I'm sure I mocked him quite a bit as well.
No, you never did. Sports and leisure, baby.
All right, here we go. There was plenty of mocking that I had no idea about 80s trivia, wrestling trivia.
All right, here we go. This is a new card I can't confirm. What's an illegal move by a baseball pitcher called?
Buzz.
I buzzed first. I hit the button first.
No, mine says buzz.
Yours says buzz. Oh, Andrew's buzz is first in the chat.
No, it's not. Mine is above his.
No, it's not. Yours is his. I am looking at it right now. His is above
on mine.
yours.
It's above his.
No, yours is a lie.
Well, I don't see how.
Here.
I will send you a screenshot. Mine is above his.
I just sent you my screenshot, and mine is the legally binding one. So there we go. So, and I heard him first too. All right, there we go.
Oh.
It's a block.
All right.
Umbrage big time there.
All right, Mr. Rock Lobster. For a point, what is an illegal move by a baseball pitcher called?
A balk.
Yes. 1 point for Andrew for a balk in baseball. All right, there we go. His lead increases. You're probably up to about 8.5. I will have our producers confirm. As we keep on rolling, it is time to get weird. It is time to get wild. It is time for the... Actually, before we do that, really quickly, at the start of the show, we were off last week. So, Uncle Mike, I will give you a bonus fun thing. How's this? To make up for your balking here. We need to pick our Pro Trading Crate winner for the month of July. We didn't get a chance to do it last week. So, Uncle Mike, you get to do it now. The timer is going. The random number generator is going. Tell me when to stop, sir.
Stop!
All right. Bam. There we go. Like a cat. Reflexes like a cat. All right, here we go. Who did you pick? Oh, I see him floating around the live chat. I think he's going to be happy with this. Mr. Unlimited, congrats. You are the July Pro Trading Crate winner. Oh, he's going to be very excited. I think you just made someone's day, Uncle Mike. So congrats to you. Our producers will reach out to you in the chat. We'll find some all sorts of fun items for you in the Pro Trading Crate. So congrats. Might be. Have you won one before? I think you have. So in which case, a repeat winner. Always fun when we get to dial it up to 11 with a repeat Pro Trading Crate winner. Something that I repeat, Andrew has never won and cannot win. So there we go. I will rub that in his face. As we keep on rolling, listeners, now we go into the trading block.
It's time to break down the latest topics, trades, and trends in the world of options. It's time for the Trading Block.
All right, everybody, welcome to the trading. Oh, yep, it is his second one. Yes, I thought you had one before. Cool. I like when people are repeat winners as well. That means You can keep hanging out in the pro, and not just do you get good content, but good things continue to happen to you. We don't just limit you to one victory. No, you can win every month. It's crazy over here. Are things crazy in the markets out here, listeners? If you like a good unched to mixed kind of market, then the answer is yes. It's wild. It's crazy. It's an insane day because the S&P is pretty much unched. The NASDAQ up about 0.2%. Dow off about 1/3%. So we got another kind of mixed market. And our old pal, Mr. VIX, a.k.a. Mr. VIX Cash, at about 15.75 as we're kicking off the show. That's up about 0.5 point from where we were on not last Monday, but actually the Thursday before last Monday. That was our last live show out here. So VIX not doing a heck of a lot, which is another reason why we felt we could maybe take a sojourn here in the middle of August out there. VVIX 96 up about 2 points. So getting a little bit frothier, a little bit firmer out there. But interesting stuff to sink our teeth into. Again, congrats to our pro trading crate. If you want to check out all that fun, get your name in the hat for the August Pro Trading Crate. The optionsinsider.com/pro is the place to go as we go now to the current winner of our 80s Trivia Challenge, the Rock Lobster. Mr. Rock Lobster, anything catching your eye last week you want to catch us up on first, because we were dark last week, and then B, what's catching your eye in the markets today, sir?
That's it. What's catching my eye again? I don't know if we're at all-time highs, but we're close. We have this CPI PPI number, and I think we're kind of waiting on that. I mean, we finally got down to around a 15 VIX, but I think 15 is the new 12 for VIX. And for whatever reason, I still believe the interest rate expectations are causing the VIX to really not make the lows that it could when the market is this strong and realized vol is this low. That's still there. It's not going away. So it keeps staying there. So as long as it's staying there, it still matters to the way I trade. I mean, VIX could be 14 by Friday with no trouble if the CPI PPI number are okay, coming in sort of in line. It could also be back to 18 again if we get a little flutter.
Of course, can we trust any of them now when they just revise them by 3 points 2 months later?
It's like you put out a number. Didn't this happen all the last 6 years, 5 years, whatever? Some of these revisions were unbelievable. It's almost like no jobs were created after they did the revision.
Yeah, they were all gone.
I feel like that's what happened this time. So find somebody who can do a better job of collecting the first number. I don't think that's unreasonable. But whoever was doing it, I think, was just doing a bad job for however many years they were doing it. So, another thing too, and is there anybody here realistically think that healthcare costs have not gone up over the last 10 years? Right now, over the last 6 years, I believe the inflation numbers are showing no change in healthcare costs. I don't know how that's possible. I guess, do they count health insurance as part of healthcare costs?
They keep calling that one guy who lives in a compound in Maine who just self-insures whenever he gets attacked by a bear. And that's,
exactly.
His costs haven't gone up.
Down.
His costs haven't gone up.
My costs keep going down. But I don't know what to say on this subject. I don't think anybody could sit here that buys groceries, buys anything. The only thing that's cheaper, I feel like, is Tesla cars. What else is cheaper? Eggs are back to about $3.99 a dozen. But other than that, everything else is more expensive. And we haven't had housing prices have not come down yet, even with rates where they are. And nobody can explain that very well either. I think there are different reasons, but I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole in this network on it. But we're at a market at all-time high, but we don't have a VIX number that corresponds to it. So that always gives me a little pause. I would be happier if we saw a 13 or 12, but we're not. So.
All right. And Mr. Uncle Mike, as he points out correctly, our resident loser here on the network right now. Mr. Uncle Mike, sir, if you have any nuggets you want to share from last week when we weren't able to do any live shows, have at it. And then B, what's catching your eye in a kind of mixed to start to the week?
Just for the record, I have the screenshot showing me buzzing first. So that's...
I don't know. You see what I see. I sent you mine.
That's because he's linked to you because he was claiming umbrage on something else earlier. I'm not linked to you. Mine clearly went in first. So anyway, with that, that's my umbrage for the day. I've said my piece. I'll move on until next week when you guys are old market makers. You guys have some type of market maker deal going here to where you're trying to cheat me in my fills. I think that's what it is.
If you know anything about former market makers, the one thing they cannot stand is other market makers. When you got a call and it's like, oh, BD on the other end of the line. Oh, $5 wide for that jerk.
Anyway, folks, I'm a good sport. I will play along with this. But anyway, with this, in terms of the markets, we are a little bit off the all-time highs right now. We did crack the 6,400 mark on the SPX earlier today. In terms of some things with which I'm watching right now, Apple, the fruit company, it's kind of come back from the dead. That's kind of been one of the main things that's been lighting up my tape over the course of the last week or so.
You make a visit to DC these days, and I guess good things happen to your stock.
I guess that's just how it rolls over the course of the week. It's like up almost 15% in terms of where it was. So that's probably the main stock. That is the main stock that's lighting up my tape. It's down a little bit on the day to day, but we have that happening. A lot of the other stocks with which I'm watching, they're holding their levels from where they are. With what they're doing, how they're doing it, that type of thing. I think it's very important that we do continue to watch rates. A lot of people believe that we are going to get one rate cut this year. We'll see if that actually happens. I wouldn't be surprised if we punt again, if you will, not cut rates, because like Andrew was saying, prices really aren't going down, even though our prices or inflation is really not going away. And we'll see what happens with it. We'll see what numbers happen. We'll see what we do with it. But for the meantime, enjoying the fact that we are near all-time highs. But as I've been saying for a while now, 2025 is the year of the collar, in my opinion. And I definitely think it's the year that you need to take advantage of these wonderful things called protective puts, even if the VIX is at the 15 level. If you're a protective put person, I'm with Andrew. I'd prefer the VIX to be in the 12 or 13 level. But for the time being, you do what you got to do. And that's what I'm seeing.
Let's see what we're seeing out here in the rest of the market, shall we, listeners? Is it a hot one? Is it a banger day? Is it spicy? Is it extra spicy? Let's all find out together, shall we? Let's kick it off out in VIX land. And is VIX looking spicy? I guess it depends, again, on your frame of reference. 413, when I say that to you, that doesn't scream, knocking the cover off the ball. We were north of 1 million at this time of the show not too long ago. So, again, but also if you add the context of mid-August closing in on it, the ADV is only 707. 413 sounds a heck of a lot more active, including the big dog out there today, which will be the subject of a flash poll, I do believe, in a little bit, if it isn't live already. The AUG 25s. You liking these bad boys? 25 for 25. That's what we got going up here. 38,000 times today in VIX land. The AUG 25s expiring on the 20th. Going up for 25 cents, 30,000 times. Are you down with that? Are you a buyer or a seller? Are you thinking 25? That's the Loggins territory. We can't get there. I'm curious. Early blush. 100% of you want to buy them. That just went live a few seconds ago. So the early blush folks, they want to buy these bad boys. Number 2, 30,000 of the AUG 35s. There appears to be just a lot of upside AUG paper going up today. Number 3, 30,000 as well of the AUG 18 calls. So again, kind of got prints all over the place out here on the 25-35. Looks like it could have gone up as a vertical, because they went up around the same time. So that could be the 25-35 vertical, in which case that's 11 cents they paid for that bad boy. 25 and 14 cents. You like that better? 11 cents for the vertical. You just, at that point, just straight pay 25 cents for the AUG 25s and let the dice fly out there. It does look like the 18 calls were separate. That is a different deal. So interesting stuff out here. Number 4, 23,000. Let's just round out our top 5 today. Number 5, about 19,000 of the AUG 24s. So if you like AUG upside, chances are you'll find some out here in VIX-land today. SPY was looking kind of spicy out of the gate and still looking pretty spicy right now. 4.6 million contracts, which is decent paper in a day when there isn't a ton else going on out there. It's literally flirting with unched again right now. The ADV is a little bit shy of 8 million, so obviously already north of halfway to that. So that's kind of interesting. The S, similarly hot, 2.2 million contracts on the tape already. The ADV, 3.75 million. So seems like it's on pace to hit that today. Small caps, surprisingly light. Nobody gives a crap about IWM today. Only 672,000 contracts on the tape. That said, that looks light in comparison to some recent days where it seems like it's always north of 1 million this time of the show. But you look at the ADV, it's a little bit shy of 1.4 million. So closing in on 700K is right about halfway to its ADV. So I guess I should be a little bit more appreciative of that volume. It just seems like IWM's come out of the gate a lot hotter of late than it does today. And the Qs, 2.1 million. So a little light out there. We expected around 2.25 million this time of the show, but pretty much in line with expectations. The ADV a little bit shy of 4, so it's got a little ways to go to hit its number today. Speaking of numbers, what are we hitting out here in terms of single names? Is it a banger day out there? I think you could probably expect that the answer is no out there, listeners, but you know what? It's respectable. Cost you 307,000 contracts to break into the top 10 today. That gets us to our old pal, SoundHound. Haven't been out here in a while. SoundHound AI Inc. Doing what AI names do. It's popping hard. 1581 up 2.25, nearly 17% today. So just when you think it's done, these names are done popping. Looks like a new price target analyst upgrade. Good Q2 numbers. So all the buzzwords hitting for SoundHound. A year-to-date SoundHound. Oh, you know what? I take it back, though. Year-to-date, I kind of thought they had a little bit of a rough run, and they did. Because year-to-date, they're still off 440 or 21, almost 22%. In fact, when they were 10.75 last week, they were off quite a bit. They were pretty much off nearly 50% for the year. So they have recovered a lot of that over the last couple of sessions. They popped on Friday and then again today. So making up for some lost time, but still down. They were, again, almost 20. They're a little north of 20. Looks like about almost $21 just about a year ago. So SoundHound, interesting. Number 10. Haven't seen them in the top 10 in a while. I'm going to guess people are liking some near-dated calls, but you never know out here. Let's look really quickly. What's the hot trade today in SoundHound AI? It'll help if I hit the right number. There we go. All right. Looks like the hot trade is the AUG 15s, which are now $0.75 in the money, going up about 21,000 times today. So near dated, but not quite as out of the money as I thought. Of course, they were out of the money just earlier this morning. So, and then we got the AUG 20s, number 2, about 18,000 of those. Either way, SoundHound breaking into the top 10 today. Welcome back to you. Number 9, our old pal, the Monster, falling all the way to number 9. 311 on the tape today. 406 1/3, up 11 1/4, or nearly 3% today. Unrealized Bitcoin profit hits 30 billion for MicroStrategy. My goodness. Either way, up hard today for good old MicroStrategy. Up $105, or about 35% for the year. So a good year for good old Monster. Number 9. Number 8. Let's keep it in AI. Why not? Let's go back to our old pal C3 AI Inc. Oh, they are going the other way right now. 1703, off $5, 513, or a little over $23 today. I didn't think AI names could go down. CEO called the preliminary sales number, completely unacceptable. Yeah, that will do it. That will do it. Leadership shifts, stock drops, unacceptable sales numbers. Yeah, that's not good. I thought you weren't legally allowed to go down if you had the magical letters of AI in your name. Wow, so that puts them now down 760, or about 30, almost 31% over the past year. Year to date, they're off 51%, or about 17 2/3. So man, quite the drubbing for, I guess, that peers trade. You want to be on the SoundHound AI, not the C3 AI leg of that trade. Either way, number 8, 341 for good old AI. Number 7, this is a newcomer. So you know it's something wild that is just exploding onto our tape today, and that is the case. This is Bitmine Immersion Technologies, Inc. Ticker symbol Bitminer, BMNR. My goodness. $61 today, up nearly $10, about 9 3/4, or about 19% today for that. Oh my goodness. A year ago, they were $11.40, and they were that price and pretty much until June 20. Actually, they had fallen. They had fallen to $4.26 on June 27th. Then they skyrocketed to $135. So takeover, something else. This is one of those Ethereum treasury names. Obviously, ETH's had a good run. I don't know if it's enough to account for this going from $4 to 52-week high of 161. They're back down to 61, only off 100 handles from their high. My goodness. What a wild name. Subsidiaries include Atlantic Hash, Renewable Energy Solutions. They're the first ETH Treasury name to cross the 1 million ETH milestone. They now hold 1 million ETH. My goodness. So they were wearing it until not too long ago, probably why their stock got down to $4. Looks like it hit 193 back in October of last year. But my goodness. Yeah, ETH was not looking good, but that run is insane. I need to dig into this name a little more. Either way, number 7, BitMiner, making it onto the list. Welcome. Good old, let's look really quickly. You know it's going to be crazy calls. Let's just see which one, listeners. It's the 70 calls expiring, not today, or not, I should say this week, but actually on the 22nd. So going out nearly 2 weeks. That seems decidedly normal of them. Wow, 28, almost 29,000 of those bad boys, followed by 28,000 of the 65 calls expiring on the monthlies. And number 3, 23,000 of the 57 puts also expiring on the 22nd. So we got some wild business afoot here. Maybe this will pop up on Oddities. Any of you folks trading this thing over here in our live chat? I'm just curious. This is a wild beast here. But let's keep on rolling. Let's go out to number 6. You know this bad boy is going to be in our top 10. It's just a question of where. It's Palantir, 184.94, off $2 exactly. They had a nice little run there for a bit, but coming back a little bit now. Still obviously looking good. Just over the last 5 days, it's still up 13 handles, 7.5%. So go figure I go away for a little bit. Palantir rallying, only putting up light numbers today. 398 on the tape for number 6. Wow, what a jump from 6 to 5. We go from 398 for number 6 to number 5, AMD, and we're jumping all the way up to 819. So we're jumping nearly 500,000 contracts to AMD. 174.43, up about $1.67 today, or about 1% for them. Good for number 5, 819 on the tape. Number 4, my old stomping grounds. They're hot, they're cold. Sounds like the Intel CEO, the next CEO to make the pilgrimage to the DC or perhaps Mar-a-Lago and kiss the ring, maybe with some cash in the back pocket, and all of a sudden, hey, good things happen for your stock. It worked for Apple, it worked for NVIDIA, maybe it'll work for Intel as well. $20.86, up about 90 cents, or about 4.5%. Good for the number 4 spot for Intel. Oh, look, all the headlines. Yep, going to the White House. That's all it takes. Going to the White House. Let's buy some options. That's what we're in. That's the market we're in now, listeners. Number 4, Intel, 831. Number 3, the fruit company. They already did this dance. That worked out pretty well for them. I go away for a few days, and Apple was circling that par strike that I love so much. 203 when I leave. Come back. It's 228 even. Up just past 5 days, 12%, up 24.5 handles. Man, you show up cash in hand, and I guess good things happen. Number 3, it's Apple, $8.95, off $1 today, so giving back $1 of its ill-gotten gains out there as we go out to number 2. Yes, I said number 2. Weird reversal out there today. It's NVIDIA, 1.21 million, 183.40, up about 2/3 of $1 today. Interesting. So NVIDIA number 2, that means number 1. What could it possibly be? Listen, I'll give you a couple of seconds to guess. Yeah, you know what it is. It's Tesla. 342.25, up $12.50, or nearly 4%. Why are they popping today? More buyers than sellers. Yeah, I don't see any reason, but then again, do you ever need a reason for the stock to pop 12 handles? When it's Tesla, number 1, 1.8 million contracts out there on the tape for Tesla. If you like earnings vol, listeners, then we got some fun stuff in store for you this week, including AMC today. Circle having their first big announcement. Man, whoever Mr. Bill is right now, he's literally fallen off his chair. I'll never forget when I showed him that put wing out there. He literally fell off his chair while he was doing the show with me. He was so attracted by the premiums out there. Circle, looking wild out there. That's on Wednesday. Tomorrow. Cisco, Uncle Mike cover years on Wednesday. JD.com, everyone's favorite, and AMAT on Thursday. Luckily for you folks, we got updated hot off the presses because we like you. Earnings move results, and earnings season reports. Not much popping off before the bell today, so I think we'll skip the results reports for today. But let's go on out to Circle. Everyone wants to know, how's it looking? We don't have any prior data for this name, obviously, so we can't do the same analysis we normally do. But that said, they're popping off on the 12th before the bell. They were at 159. Man, they have sold well back through that par strike. My 190 puts I sold not too long ago looking dicey now. What are they pricing in? They're pricing in 15 3/4. Remember, this is the stock that went public around 30 and rocketed all the way up to north of 200, getting close to 250, I believe. So is 15 3/4, is that too cheap? I don't know. Interesting stuff out there. Let's go out to another hot name that just kind of is on again, off again, bringing a lot of drama with it. It's CoreWeave. The 12th after the bell, 129.5 is where they were trading. They were pricing in 21 3/4. Oh my goodness. In the past, they've moved 3 1/4. Yes, let me say that again. You did not mishear me. In the past, their average move is $3.25. They're pricing in $21.74 right now. So they are pricing in an absolute banger for Core. Makes those previous straddles look downright tame by comparison. Let's go out to Uncle Mike's favorite. He doesn't have to listen. It's Cisco coming in 13th after the bell for Cisco. 71 3/4. They're pricing in 361. In the past, they've moved about 310. Let's keep going. Let's go out to AMAT, 14th after the bell. A little bit shy of 185 when we ran this report. They're pricing in $10 almost exactly. In the past, they've moved about $7 almost exactly. So $3 on the top. Not quite 50% on top of their straddle, but a decent chunk on top of their previous move. So is that overdone? I mean, chips have been rocketing of late. And of course, if you look at our season tells you just to buy all the vol you can. We're hanging out right now, 139% listeners. That is ridiculous, I think is the technical term. Our long-term average is already ridiculous at 119%. That's our average of the last 12 quarters. And this is already blowing it away at 139%. So I guess the moral of the story is just buy all the earnings premium you can. And then roll the bones as we keep on rolling them right on into the odd block.
It's time to break down the most interesting, unusual, and downright questionable options activity that's been identified by theoptionsinsider.com. It's time for the odd block.
All right, everybody, let's get weird. Let's get wild. Let's have the Rock Lobster polish off his spidey sense here as we dive into some weird and some wild paper. Let's see what catches our eye out here today. Let's go out to, I do believe this is a newcomer. If it's not, we haven't talked about them in a while. This is Verastem, ticker symbol VSTM. No, they're not a STEM name, but they are a biotech. This is a subsidiary is Verastem Oncology. So they're looking for pharmaceutical treatments for cancer, obviously. A 776 popping hard today, up about $1 or about 15%. So a good day for them today. See, good news. They had a Q2 beat 2 days ago. Well, this says Q2 loss, misses revenue estimates. So one of these can't be right. Either way, stock rallying today. More buyers and sellers. On the year, let's see. Oh, it's up $5.45 or 235%. So it's had a good run. It was trading right around 2 1/4 a year ago. So yeah, good time to be in the Verastem Oncology business. That said, they did get higher. They got higher back in May. They got up to $9.10 before taking a whooping back down to $4.15 on June 27th. Since then, they've been rallying, including a nice pop. From August 7th, they were 562 all the way up to where they are right now, 778. So a nice little pop for Verastem. Let's see what our Eye of Sauron spotted out here. It's a biotech. It's popping. I got to go figure that it's going to be some call paper. And that is indeed the case. Looks like it's the AUG 8s. Let's see, did we touch 8 today? No, we got close. We're actually at the high right now, 779. So no 8 handle today. The stock, when they put this trade up, $7.47. And they came in and said, AUG 8s, how are they? In Verastem, they got 20 at 35. So not a bad market. They said, you know what? I will trade 4,596 of those bad boys for 30 cents. Let's just look and see really quickly if they've done any more on the day. A total of nearly 8,000 now, about 7,700 of these bad boys trading today. So somebody clearly likes the 8s. Obviously looking a little better now. The stock at 778. Mr. Rock Lobster, Verastem Oncology, AUG 8s, trading for size 30 cents. Are you down for a little bit of those, sir?
Well, I mean, it looks like they're, it's hard to argue with calls that have doubled in value. You know what I mean? Like when it comes down to it, like how do you argue with calls that have doubled in value? They're trading 2035. It appears that they bought them, and now they're making big dough. So a double is a double. Apparently the stem is growing like a weed.
Not quite a stem anymore. It's a full plant.
Yes, it is all grown up, but I feel like somebody knew what was going on with those just because the timing was fortuitous, quite fortunate. If you're scoring at home, you buy some calls at 30, and then all of a sudden, in a blink, they're trading double, just by some
they're trading 60
pure happenstance.
Got chunks trading for 60 around cents now. So yeah, there you got a 2Xer, listeners. You like those bad boys. If you liked them at 30, unfortunately you missed them. But if you like them at 60, they're there for you. Interesting stuff. I got to look into what's propelling it. Obviously, the oncology biz looking good for them. I guess that's good for all of us if the oncology drugs are working right. As we keep on rolling, let's go out to HPP. It's Hudson Pacific Properties out here, listeners. This, I do believe, is a newcomer as well out here. Ticker symbol, like we said, HPP. Trading a whopping $2.51, up a penny today. This is a REIT, by the way. They invest in office buildings. So we know that's just a banger business on the west coast of the U.S. and in Vancouver. What's a better business than investing in commercial office space over the last couple of years? And this chart reflects it. They got all the way up to about, looks like almost $6 last year, $5.60. And then they pretty much, that was in August, end of August, and they pretty much sold off ever since. That said, they did bottom out around $1.78 in June, so they have managed to rally a little bit from there, up to about $2.50 right now, but not exactly looking like a banger out here in the commercial real estate property world here for Hudson Pacific Properties. Nonetheless, doesn't stop somebody from coming in this morning and saying, these 2 halves at the money calls, how are they? They got 35 at 45. And they said, you know what? I think I like the cut of this REIT's jib. I will trade 7,500 of these bad boys for 43 cents. So pretty much right near the offer. The stock was exactly here. The stock hasn't budged. You're going to get some earnings between now and December, but these are actually late. They're not going to get an announcement again until November 14th. So if you were hoping for maybe 2 announcements by the end of the year, not getting that. Just getting 1 announcement in November, and that's it. So is that worth 43 cents? Remember, these are at the money calls, so that could all go the way of the dodo. But it's also cheaper than paying $2.50. So, Mr. Rock Lobster, we got a REIT in the uber sexy business of commercial office space. Somebody loading up, looks like, on Dees at the money calls for 43 cents. What say you?
Well, when I'm seeing buying some sexy 2.5 calls, a REIT really is the thing that I want to buy them in. It's just like...
Yeah, why buy them in a meme stock or a biotech when you could buy them in a REIT?
Yeah, that's just like Tosaw buying Bitcoins. Like, it's just, some things just aren't going to happen. What's interesting is... So this is a REIT that doesn't pay a dividend, has kind of a little shaky earnings history. Okay, it does. Hasn't paid a dividend since 2024. You know, it might have something here. The problem is, let's see, Dees. I mean, they're trading about what they pay for them. It looks like some kind of recovery play. I don't think it's the worst thing going out to December. It's at the money, and stock up $1. Those calls are going to be 50 cents in the money. So, not the worst thing. It saves you money on buying the stock, like maybe 4-1, something like that. So, not terrible. I'll say it's not terrible, but you don't. If they start to pay out a dividend again, the stock will pop, and then you'll get some capital gain, but you will lose a little bit on the dividend payout. So, again, not my favorite thing to do in a REIT, but yeah, it almost is like, you know, that you get a 20-cent return, almost a 20% return, selling the calls against the stock and maybe collecting the dividend until December. So, but it's buying calls in REITs, unless you are right on a turnaround in the real estate market or something like that, is usually an expensive. It's a ride to Palookaville normally, I would say, but not. At least these are cheap enough to give it a shot.
They're cheap. I guess that's pretty much the only thing they got going for that. That and the fact they bought some duration. So if it doesn't work, you go out to the end of the year. I guess if it doesn't work, you could try again another 5 or 6 months for the similar outlay. And then you could try again and try again and try again. And then you've pretty much equaled the outlay of paying for the stock. I guess you can look at it that way if you really want to be cheap on it. As we keep on rolling, let's go out to a name we have talked about once or twice of late. This is On Holding AG, ticker symbol ON. This is the footwear manufacturer, running shoes, I believe. 46.12, up about 50 cents today, or about 1%. On the year, it's kind of been a topsy-turvy one. A year ago, $39.50. They're up about $6.50, or 16 2/3%. So not bad. But they have gotten higher. In January, they got up to $64, so much higher, $18 north of here. And then they sold off to, looks like the low for the year is $34.50, so substantially below where they are right now. So kind of hanging out in the Goldilocks range. Got up to about $60 again back in May. So they kissed 60 and above twice this year before kind of giving up the ghost. Obviously, if you're importing a lot of footwear from overseas, challenging market for you this year. And it looks like Mr. Rock Lobster, our Eye of Sauron trade here, doesn't exactly seem like they're feeling a lot of optimism for the stock. Somebody came in this morning when the stock was a little bit lower, 45.84, and they said, how are those tasty AUG 44 half puts? They got $1.52 at $2. So a 50-cent wide market. Pretty wide, but again, it is on after all. And again, these are AUGs. These are going away. Oh, these are okay. Earnings are tomorrow. Otherwise, this market makes no sense. $1.50 at $2 for the 44 half puts going out at the end of this week. Obviously, there must be an earnings announcement, and there is. It is tomorrow before the bell. So somebody, Mr. Rock Lobster, is not looking for a good number out of on, and they're willing to pay $2 for these 44 half puts for the privilege of stopping themselves out at the low price of 42.5, sir. What say you?
You know, I thought we had some bad earnings from Crocs lately. I know it's not exactly the same as on, but
yeah, they had their worst day in like a decade or something. Crocs, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Crocs has been wasn't a bad stock, and they get kind of smoked anyway. So maybe they're looking to see history repeat. So again, earnings play, you flip the coin. So if you're into coin flipping, you got a good shot, or you think the earnings are going to be terrible.
I don't know. Time to flip a coin as well to see what Uncle Mike has on the brain, because it's time for the strategy block.
It's time to dispense options, wit, wisdom, and education. It's time for the strategy block.
All right, everybody, welcome to the strategy block. And looks like our box winner is joining forces with you, Uncle Mike, in our chat. He says he is now anti-crypto for the rest of the day, exclusively because you chose him for the pro trading crate. So he's lining up with you for the rest of the day. So be thankful, Uncle Mike.
Bringing sanity to crypto traders, one trader at a time.
One at a time. All I got to do is bribe them with great gifts.
There we go. Well, speaking of great gifts today, what I want to talk about is a great gift that's come back into the marketplace over the last couple of years, and that is Row. And Row is something that not a lot of people really pay attention to in the option world, but it does exist again. In particular, what I want to talk about is the traditional wheel trade that we've talked about on this show many times, to where traditionally you sell a short put to get into a stock, hoping that the stock will go down in value, and then you get the stock put to you. You get paid to do it. Once you're in the stock, then you sell a covered call, and then the stock gets called away from you, and you're collecting premium this way and that, and rinse and repeat. Well, what we've adjusted to with our triple income strategy, we don't do the short put anymore. We would if it was there and it was available. But one of the things we've shifted to for the first side of it is we're doing a synthetic short put, and that is an in-the-money covered call. So in other words, let's say XYZ stock's at $53 a share, and you'd love to buy it at 50. Well, you can sell the 50 put, hoping that the stock goes down and it gets put to you, and then you get paid to buy it. What we're doing instead of that is we're actually buying the stock right away, and we're selling a 50 covered call. Now, the reason for that is that because of the fact that calls are going to be priced more than puts if there is an interest rate environment, is that we want to collect more premium ultimately. Risk reward, it's identical, but you're going to get more premium, not every time, because there are going to be exceptions to the rule, but you're going to get more premium because of the fact that interest rates exist. Now, the reason for that is that if I'm selling a short put, my maintenance requirement is only going to be between 10 and 20% of the underlying. So I can take the other parts of that account and I can invest it in risk-free treasuries. And that's why puts are typically going to be less than calls. Whereas with a covered call, I have to actually shell out all the money for all of the stock. And because of that, the call is going to be priced a little bit more than the put. So there's going to be a little bit more juice there. And of course, there's more to it than that. Depending on if your broker allows what's called maintenance release, for in a cash secured account, or if you're willing to do that and manage it, you can do that as well. But ultimately, my opinion, it usually works out a little bit simpler to just do a deep in the money covered call. Row is back, folks. It's been back for a couple of years. Make sure you have an understanding of it. And that is the strategy block for today, August 11th.
Interesting. Swapping out the short put for the deep in the money. Look at you coming with some fun curveballs for us here on the strategy block as we keep on rolling and go around the block.
It's time to dispense options, wit, wisdom, and education. It's time for the strategy block.
All right, everybody, let's tell you what we're keeping an eye on here until our next episode when we are joined by the Flow Master. Before we get there, really quickly, let's look at some of our flash polls and other polls out there. Right now, I asked you earlier on the show, we said the AUG 25s and VIX expiring on the 20th, going up 30,000 times today for 25 cents. Are you quite simply buyer or seller? 69.2% of you want to buy that bad boy. 30.8% say no bueno for you, sold to you out there. We're also asking you, it is a hot earnings week again. Which earnings name are you planning to trade options on this week? We gave you 3 choices and the infamous other. And ain't nobody got time for other this week. So far, all of you are split evenly, 50% each between Circle and CoreWeave. You want to trade the 2 C's. That's all you want to trade this week. Nobody cares about AMAT or the other. You're all here for Circle and CoreWeave. I can't say I blame it. They've been 2 hot ones of late. Some interesting juice in both of those as well. So interesting stuff. Those are just going live during the show. Obviously, one's a flash poll, so that'll be done tomorrow. So get in there if you're listening to the podcast later today. And the other one is our question of the week. So you got a little bit of time to get in there at options to make your voice heard as the Rock Lobster makes his voice heard. What are you keeping an eye on for the rest of the week, sir?
Well, CPI number, PPI number. I'm just going to say there's a little bit of queasiness over this number. And we will see if this tariff thing is inflationary or not. I don't really think it is, but I don't think tariffs are the problem. I think Congress is the problem because they don't know how to balance a budget. So I think it is the gift that keeps on giving as far as not a gift, but I would say the problem that won't go away. The budget deficit is the Sith Lord that has yet to reveal himself.
Mr. Uncle Mike, same question for you, sir. What are you keeping an eye on till the Thursday show?
The Sith Lord, I like that. Just watching to see if we can break new all-time highs, watching the announcements coming out this week and Friday, and continuing to see if interest rates decide to take over rate changes by themselves instead of waiting for the Fed.
All right, that is going to do it for us on the old OB today. But you know what? We're back. We're live in the studio and raring to go. So don't worry, you'll have a lot more stuff coming at you. If you're hanging out in the pro, just hang out. We'll be back in a little bit with none other than our good pal, Mr. Greg Magadini. It looks like the queen in the chat heard some of this anti-crypto skullduggery. And she's loading up on all the ETH and everything else just to counterbalance the anti-crypto forces out here and to drive a crypto higher today. So I tip my cap to you, madam. Well done, taking one for the team out there. If you want to go deep into all things crypto, the vol, the skew, there's a lot of it. Join us in a little bit for the crypto rundown. I'll be joined by our good pal, Mr. Greg Magadini, to break it all down. He usually comes loaded for beer, so it should be a good time. And then after that, we come back after the bell to dive deep into what's lighting it up. Is our top 10 from today's show, is it going to make it all the way through to the close, or is some other wild name going to explode into our top 10 today and manage to potentially kick everyone's new favorite bit miner to the curb? Can it make it all the way to the close? I guess we'll find out on the Hot Options Report later today. But before we keep going through all that, let's go back around the horn. Mr. Rock Lobster, sir, if folks want more Rock Lobster goodness in their lives, where should they go? What should they do?
We're going to go to optionpit.com.
I think that is the correct answer. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Optionpit.com, 888-TRADE-01, and I'll check out all the goodies that we do.
Check out all the good goodies, optionpit.com, the place to go. And Uncle Mike, if they want to reach out to you, maybe they have some understandable questions about why you would swap the beloved short put for the in the money covered call. Where should they go? What should they do?
stcharleswealth.com. Book an appointment with me on my site. Would be more than happy to have a conversation with any of our listeners. Always enjoy talking with them.
There you go, stcharleswealth.com, the place to go to kick the tires and light the fires. Back again in a little bit with the crypto rundown. If you're hanging out in the pro, just hang out. We'll pump some fun stuff in there in between shows. Then one final time for today for the old Hot Options Report. Then back again tomorrow. I do believe I will be joined by our good pal, the Oracle of New Hampshire himself, to talk some advisors option. Actually, no, I take it back. Tomorrow we have the European Market Brief joining us again. It's Tuesday. It's back in action again. We're going to go across the pond this week, listeners. Should be a good time. And then, of course, our usual doubleheader on Wednesday, good old OBC, followed by the Futures Rundown. The folks from Tradier joining me on that one. Then we're back again on Thursday, another episode of the Option Block. Stay safe out there, everybody.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.